So, do you have any inspirations that you've kept on the back burner because perhaps you're just not sure how to figure out the next steps of what's required? Maybe you have an inspiration or an intuition to move in a certain direction or to let go of a certain something or to move to a place or whatever the thing is to start a certain project, and you're really excited about it, but you're not quite sure how to figure out certain steps for it, and so you're waiting for those steps to become clear, certain things to become clear before you act on the inspiration. If you have, this video is going to be an absolute game changer for you. This is one of the most overlooked subtleties when it comes to manifestation and mastering your flow that I've ever come across. For those of you who don't know, my name is David Lyon. I'm the creator of Living Magic and Opening the Channel, here to support you in your path of spiritual growth, ascension, and inner dopeness. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So this came up in a conversation we were having in our hot tub last night, actually, where we were talking about manifestation. And a friend of mine was mentioning about how he felt inspired and called to go in a certain direction, but certain things also weren't clear yet in terms of how things were going to pan out or what he was going to do next, and so on and so forth. And so it made me think of a moment that I had with a client where there was a very similar situation where I asked her on the call, I'm like, do you have any inspirations that you've been keeping on the back burner? Because she was feeling a little bit stagnant and stuck. Flow was overall good, but she could feel that there was more energy wanting to happen that just wasn't being used and released. And so I asked her, I'm like, do you have any inspirations that you've been keeping on the back burner? And she thought about it. And the first thing that came to her was, she's like, I have been feeling the calling and the intuition to let go of my house, to sell my house. But at the same time, I've never sold a house before. I know the market is really crazy and wobbly right now. And this is a house that I bought, the first house that I bought with my money. My son was raised in this house. And so there's just, there's so many moving puzzle pieces. There's a lot to figure out in order for me to sell the house. But I'm definitely down with that direction. I just haven't gotten there yet. And I said, perfect, that's amazing. And you're doing things backwards. And she was like, what? And so listen to this. You're going to love this. What I reflected to her is, when you receive an inspiration, when you receive that whisper from God or the communication from your higher mind, however you choose to perceive it, it is complete. And it is simply waiting for you to say yes to it first so that life can figure out the rest for you. Let me explain what I mean. So what I guided her to do is I said, okay, I want you to do something for me. You genuinely feel this calling, and this is something you genuinely want to fulfill, right? You want to act on this inspiration. She's like, yeah, absolutely. She's like I said, it's just hard because of this, that, and the other, and I have to figure things out. I said, cool. Do me a favor, and you guys could do this now if you want, or after. I said, do me a favor and close your eyes and feel that inspiration, feel that intuition that's saying it's time to let go of your house. And for you guys, it might be, it's time to move on, or it's time to take that leap of faith. And so she's like, okay, yeah, I could feel it. I'm like, perfect. What I want you to do is I want you to say yes to the inspiration first, to be a full-bodied, wholehearted yes to that message, to that calling first, without needing to know how things are going to be figured out. Because what you've been doing on the inside is you've been waiting for certain things to become clear before being a full, wholehearted yes to the inspiration. It's been once this is figured out, then yes. Do it the other way around. Receive it, be like, okay, this is the message. Feel it. Yes, okay. I'm deciding. There's nothing more powerful than a wholehearted decision, because when you say yes to the intuition and or inspiration first, then you give permission to your guides to go ahead and arrange the synchronicities that are necessary for you so that what's necessary can manifest in the most effortless way possible. So she sat there and she felt it, and she took a moment And then at some point, I saw tears rolling down her eyes, which let me know she was really connecting with it on a deeper level and that she was moving beyond the mental reasons as to why she wasn't doing it. She took a second, she felt the tears, and then she's like, okay, I'm a yes. I don't know how it's going to happen, but yes, like I'm a full-bodied, wholehearted yes to this inspiration. I said, perfect. That's it. You're done. And she's like, that's it. What do you mean? I'm like, that's it. You're done. We're done the session. And she was like, okay. I'm like, yep, we'll talk soon. And she's like, all right. And so we get off the phone, we get off Zoom, and the very next day, she messages me. I still have the voice note in my DMs. She messages me and she's like, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, try me. And she's like, I woke up in the morning around 8 o'clock in the morning and there was a knock on my door. And I wasn't expecting anyone. So I went to the door. And at the door, there were two people. And what they were saying is, excuse me, I'm sorry for bothering you. I know it's early and I know that there's not any like particular signs on your lawn, but I was wondering, by any chance, would you be willing to sell your house? Because me and my brother, we grew up in this house and it has a lot of sentimental value to us. And, you know, we've always wanted to buy it back once we were able to. And so would there be any chance that you'd be willing to consider to let us buy this house from you? Her jaw dropped on the floor. and and so sure enough, she sold the house. So the moral of this story is, this is how synchronicity and dancing with your inspirations actually works. You know, the idea is that once you receive that message from source or from your higher mind, again, however you want to perceive it, you don't need to figure things out in order to act on it. Because what you're receiving is the signal that's letting you know that if you say yes to this, we will arrange all the synchronicities necessary for you so that we figure things out for you and you don't need to figure things out. That's how it works. So it's a lot like, imagine you're a captain of a boat and you just receive the intuition or the inspiration from the winds, so to speak, that you need to go in a certain direction, but you're unsure of, okay, but if I go in that direction, how are the waters going to be? I don't know if there's going to be a storm, and so on and so forth. It wouldn't really benefit you if you're at sea to not go a direction that you're called to go in and to wait to see how things are going to happen. If you actually receive that intuition and inspiration by saying yes to it and being like, full speed ahead that way, then all of your crew, all of your guides will immediately orchestrate themselves to set the sails and to man the oars to take you in that direction that you have commanded, that you have called forth. This is how synchronicity could be amplified and accelerated in the most fun and joyful and magical way. All right. Very, very simple trick. So again, I hope you liked this video. And, you know, just to give a really quick resume, it's receive the inspiration, receive the intuition, and be a wholehearted, full-bodied fuck yes to that inspiration first. Feel it in your body without needing to know how it's going to happen. And then you just allow, and you're okay. You're going to feel a shift inside of yourself once you say yes to it. And then flow is going to manifest differently. And then notice what happens, and let me know what kind of synchronicities you get in the comment section down below, because I would love to hear about it. And I'm sure it's going to inspire other people who might read the comment section. All right. So as always, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, my name is David Lyon, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you or sharing more with you. All right. Lots of love. Peace.